Welcome to Forest of Oak, Lesson 6, Deity and Offerings. The definition of the word deity in the dictionary is a god or goddess, divine character or nature, especially that of a supreme being, divinity, the estate or rank of a god, a person or thing revered as a god or goddess, the deity, god, supreme being. Within the pagan world, everyone will probably have a slightly different idea of deity. Some think of it as gods and goddesses, some think of it as one source, and every other definition in between. It is somewhat a personal thing, and everyone will visualize the gods and goddesses in a very personal way. As humans, we seem to like to visualize them in a human form. Some might see traditional deity, gods and goddesses of various pantheons, such as Athena, Woden, Aphrodite, etc., or they may see deity as spirits in all things, spirit of the forest, spirit of the sea, etc. Some may work with deities as energies, such as Jack in the Green and the Moon Mother. Everything has energy. Every living thing has an essence, and deity connects them all, bringing everything together. The earth itself is a living thing. She is female energy, and she is called by many names. Earth Goddess, Mother Earth, Gaia. She is the maiden, the mother, the crone. She is all aspects. She is all seasons. Everything on our planet lies within Mother Earth, but all things are also separate. Then we have the balance. We have the male energy, the horned god, the green man is nature. He is the forest. He lives, he grows, he dies, and he is reborn again. He is the consort to the goddess. You will find your way as you grow on your own path. You may work with all sorts of deities, spirits, and energies along the way until you become comfortable with what deity means to you. It will be an interesting journey. Pantheons. Then we have all the pantheons with all the deities within. Gods and goddesses of love, war, healing, the sea, the sky, animals, the list goes on. A pantheon is a group of deities from the same culture. So deities from ancient Greece would all be collected under the title Greek pantheon. All the deities from ancient Norse mythology will be within the Norse pantheon, and so on. Think of a beautifully cut diamond. Each facet is an individual, but it makes up a part of a whole. So think of each god or goddess as a facet, a part of the whole. For me, I like to think of the beginning being one energy, one spirit, one entity. It is female, it is male. It is neither, it is both. And then mankind arrived, and every individual culture began to honour the spirit of the sun, the land, the moon, and all other things that it needed to survive. Gradually, each culture, each country, developed a faith and belief in the divine. I like to think it is the same divine across the globe, just interpreted in different ways to suit each culture. The deity in each country are depicted with the outward characteristics and clothing of that particular culture, but you will find similarities in each religion and in each pantheon across the globe. Working with them. You don't have to know all the deities in detail. You don't have to work with all the deities. The choice is yours. But what I would encourage is exploration. Research, read about, meditate on, and investigate all the deities and see what works for you. Personally, I've always worked with Celtic or ancient British deities, but occasionally a deity from outside will present itself and I work with him. It always happens for a reason, and is usually very productive and always interesting, so don't limit yourself. If a deity calls to you, do your homework. Read their stories and myths. Learn about their culture and their landscape. What foods, music, or art come from their country? How were they honoured originally? Are they associated with any Sabbats or seasons? What symbols or associations do they have? By finding out all you can about them, you can learn how to interact with them. You don't have to work with one pantheon only. Some people choose to do so specifically because of their own culture, some because it just happens that way. But as I said before, you don't have to limit yourself to one pantheon at all. Working with deity is so immensely rewarding. We can call upon them to lend energy to our rituals, to our healing work, to our spell work. We can ask them for guidance and assistance, for clarity, for comfort, to boost our confidence, and to just be with us. But bear in mind, when you ask for assistance, it might not be exactly what you expected. Each deity is an individual, and they all have their own very specific characters and personalities. You might have gotten yourself into a mess and asked for a particular goddess for some help and guidance, hoping for her to be kind and considerate. But what you might get is a bit of a butt-kicking if she thinks that's what you deserve. I would also add caution here. I don't want to scare anyone, but just want to mention, please be polite, please be considerate. Don't summon deity as if they were servants. They are higher beings, and they can cause you a whole lot of trouble if you don't show respect. And if you have called upon them to help with something, don't forget to thank them. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Water some plants, feed the birds, put out an offering in the garden, something biodegradable. Or if you have an altar set up, pop something on that as an offering, a crystal perhaps. How you decide upon what deity or pantheon even to work with is up to you. You can do some research and see what resonates with you. You can also do meditations to meet deity. Sometimes deity will find you. You might see the name popping up when you read things on the TV or just into your head. Be open to what or who comes your way. Don't worship. I don't see it as worshipping deity. That feels like the wrong word. For me, it is about asking them to walk beside me, to lend their energy to whatever I am doing, or just being there for me. It is more of a relationship than any kind of worship. You need to get to know them just as you would a new friend. Practical. What can you do to work with and honour them? Trust your intuition and listen. They may have plans or certain requests for you, but generally you can work a ritual in their honour, celebrate them on Sabbats, meditate with them, work a creative project for them, make offerings to them, support a cause in their name, pray to them, light a candle to honour them, talk to them. Patron or matron. At some point along your journey, and it might happen quickly, it might take years, you may find a patron god and or goddess. And for some, it may never happen. Trust that whatever happens is right for you. It might be that a deity makes themselves known to you, or you might read about one and feel an instant bond, a real connection to your core. This deity will become very closely linked with you and work side by side with you, usually for your lifetime. But don't panic if it doesn't happen at first. It took me 9 years before I found mine. Or should I say she found me? Be open, listen, watch, and learn. Here are some of the more commonly known ones and some of the main deities within them. But you can also have Loas, Orishas, Hawaiian, Mayan, Chinese deities, to name but a few. The Celtic pantheon. The Celtic pantheon is made up of an incredible assortment of gods and goddesses from across a vast region. The Celtic lands reached from the British Isles, France and Gaul to Bohemia, Poland, and much of Central Europe, the Iberian Peninsula, and northern Italy. And following the Gallic invasion of the Balkans in 279 BC, as far as central Anatolia. Because the Celts didn't write their traditions down, what we know of them come from the Romans and from archaeological evidence. Some Celtic deities are Anya, Arianrhod, Blodeuwedd, Bridget, Cailleach, Cernunnos, Caerhedwen, Herne, Morrigan, Rhiannon. Norse pantheon. The Norse pantheon is made up of gods and goddesses from across Scandinavia, including Norway, Denmark, Sweden, and Iceland. We have a rich history of Norse mythology from the Prose Edda and the Poetic Sagas. The Norse pantheon is made up of two major groups, the Vanir and the Asir. The Vanir are the older gods of wild forests and natural world, and the Asir are the newcomers who overcame the Vanir. The Asir were more concerned with the affairs of mankind, social order, and technology. The Norse cosmos is made up of 9 worlds. In the upper level was Asgard, where the Asir resided, Alfhelm, the land of the elves, and Vanaheim, the home of the Vanir. In the middle level was Midgard, the land of men, Jotunheim, the home of the giants, and Swaffhelheim, realm of the dark elves, and Nidalvir, the dwelling place of the dwarfs. Lastly, there was the lower level, which contained Muspelheim, the hot world of the southern region, and Niflheim, the underworld. Some Norse deities are Freya, Freyr, Frigga, Hel, Loki, Odin, Thor, Baldur, and Bragi. Greek and Roman pantheon. The Greek pantheon is made up of 3 categories of deity. The first is the primeval gods, which are the raw element that makes up the fabric of the universe. This category includes deities such as Gaia, the literal earth. Then we have the Titans, which are the elder generation of the gods, were established in order of time and the heavenly cycles. The Titans were overpowered by the Olympians. The Olympians are perhaps the better known and widely honoured deities today. They preside over every aspect of human life. The Roman pantheon and mythology is greatly influenced by the Greeks, with the names of Greek deities replaced with Roman one, creating a Greco-Roman hybrid. The Romans also borrowed deities from other pantheons too. Isis, Mithra, and indeed Jesus are good examples. The Romans were very open-minded and they did not believe that their deities were the only gods to be worshipped. We've put the Greek and Roman deities together because there is just so much overlap. Some Greek and Roman deities are Zeus, Jupiter, Hera, Juno, Ares, Mars, Demeter, Ceres, Aphrodite, Venus, Athena, Minerva, Hermes, Mercury, Pan, Faunus, Gaia, Terra, Rhea, Ops. The Egyptian pantheon. The Egyptian pantheon is very ancient indeed. The Egyptians worshipped many gods and goddesses, which were often a combination of human and animal form. Their deities quite often had aspects of elemental forces such as the sun and the sky. The Nile and its inundations could mean life or death to them, and so deities associated with it and its annual flooding were also prevalent. The importance of the various gods and goddesses changed over time and depended on the beliefs of the pharaoh that was in power. Some Egyptian deities are Anubis, Bas, Hathor, Horus, Isis, Mat, Nephthys, Osiris, Ra, and Thoth. Hindu. The Hindu pantheon centers around deities from Indian mythology, which numbers into the millions. India has seen many ages and diverse cultures across its vast land, but has managed to blend all the deities into one religion, Hinduism. Hinduism includes all the gods of early sacred and epic literature and their later permutations, deified mortals, and the animals, birds, trees, mountains, rivers, and plants revered as divine personalities by India's primitive tribes. Hindu deities are larger than life. Their depictions are very lavish and brightly coloured, and they often contain more limbs than average. Some Hindu deities are Brahma, Ganesha, Shiva, Kali, Krishna, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Shakti, Vishnu, Maya. Offerings. When I collect anything from the wild, I do like to leave an offering of some sort. If I'm in the woods or fields, I don't often have anything to hand, so I give the plant or tree a blessing and a thank you. However, I do make offerings in my garden on a regular basis. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. In fact, just feeding the birds or watering your plants is, in a way, an offering to Mother Nature. But if you have collected natural items or been gifted something, it seems only good manners to say thank you with an offering. Maybe next time you're on a walk, take a little bag of plant food and sprinkle some under a tree. I often make little salt dough offerings which I leave under trees where they have held where we have held a group ritual in the woods. I also make specific offerings from a mixture of herbs and dried flowers, sometimes with a small crystal in as well, to sprinkle under trees or in hedgerows. These offerings can be made with a specific intent in mind, so it might be for prosperity or healing. I leave them as a gift to the gods, along with a prayer or a request. When I have finished holding a ritual, I always pour some of the water or wine, or in the winter hot chocolate, onto the ground as a thank you, along with some crumbled up cake if we had in a circle. I know throwing cake on the ground can be heartbreaking, but it is all for a very worthy cause. Pouring a little milk and honey into a bowl and leaving it in your garden is also appreciated by the fairy folk. Whatever you leave out in the woods, fields or hedgerows, please make sure it is biodegradable or a natural item. Plastic is a big no-no. And I know it is a beautiful experience to tie ribbons onto trees to make wishes or bring blessings, but the ribbons don't degrade and the poor tree branches can get strangled as they grow. Salt dough offerings. Salt dough is one of the easiest things in the world to make, and you can create just about anything from it. Use it with cookie cutters to make your own altar ornaments. Ingredients: 4 cups, 32 ounces of flour, 1 cup, 8 ounces of salt, 1.5 cups, 12 fluid ounces of hot water, and 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil. Preparation. Combine the salt and the flour and then add the water until the dough becomes elastic. Add the oil at this time and knead the dough. If it is too sticky, add more flour. Once it is a good consistency, make your shapes with cookie cutters. Bake at 200 degrees centigrade, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, gas mark 6, until hard, about 20 to 30 minutes. Leave them unpainted and unvarnished if you are going to use them as offerings. For decorations, once they're cooled, paint them with designs and symbols and seal with clear varnish. If you're planning to hang them, poke a hole through the ornament before baking them. Then, after you've varnished them, run a ribbon or thread through the hole. You can also add a teaspoon of cinnamon or some glitter to the mixture before baking too. Note, please don't leave salt dough outside in nature. It is detrimental to the health of wildlife and to the soil. In a temple meditation. Sit in a comfortable position and make sure you won't be disturbed. Take a deep breath in through your nose and then exhale out through your mouth. Feel all the stress and worries of the day start to fade away. Take another inhalation deep into your abdomen, and then slowly exhale. Feel all the tension from your muscles slowly melt away. You are relaxed, calm, and centered. Close your eyes if you haven't done so already, and open your mind's eye to find yourself at the bottom of a stone stairway. You begin to climb the steps, which spiral upward. The stairwell is made of stone too, and the way is lit by torches held in iron sconces. As you continue to ascend, you place your hand on the stone walls for balance. The stone feels cool and smooth, almost like glass beneath your hand. The walls glitter like crystal where the light from the torches touch it. You reach the top of the steps and find yourself in front of a closed door. What does the door look like? What is it made from? You examine the door and try the handle, but it is locked. You reach inside your pocket and pull out a large metal key. Place the key in the lock and turn it, and you hear a loud clunk as the barrels turn and the door unlocks. You turn the handle again and gently push the door. It swings open with a slight groan and creak at the hinges. You peer inside, but the room is too dark for you to make anything out. So you pluck one of the torches from its sconce and proceed into the room. You're in a temple. The room is circular, and you begin to walk around it. There is artwork on the walls and photographs. Do you recognize them? In the center of the room is a low table, your altar, with some unlit candles on. You carefully light each one, and as you do, you see the other objects on the altar. There is also a small cushion in front of the altar. You kneel or sit in front of the altar and look at the objects on it. What do you see? Spend a little time just sitting and getting to know your altar. When you feel ready, extinguish the candles and stand up to leave. Make your way back to the stairs and close the door behind you, knowing you can come back here whenever you need. Replace the torch back in its sconce and make your way back down the stairs, feeling that smooth stone beneath your hand as you descend. Now at the bottom of the stairs, you become aware of your breath once more. Take a deeper inhalation now and start to be aware of the world around you. Exhale and wiggle your fingers and toes. When you are ready, open your eyes and come back to the here and now. Don't forget to ground and record your experiences and thoughts in your journal. A recording of that meditation can be found here. Meditation to meet a god or goddess. Settle and make yourself comfortable. Take several deep breaths in and out. As your mundane world dissipates, you find yourself standing on a lush green grass in a valley between beautiful hills. Breathe in the fresh cleansing air. Feel it fill your body with love and light. You turn and look all around you in a full circle. As far as the eye can see, there is lush green grass, interspersed with patches of pretty wildflowers. You notice at the base of one of the hills a glint of light, a sparkle, so you make your way towards it. As you walk, you can hear birds singing. It's a beautiful sound, and you can smell the scent of the wildflowers on the breeze. You can feel the grass soft beneath your feet. Your eyes catch a glimpse of the sparkle again, a flittering of light. Or is it? As you get closer, you realize there is a large pool of water. It looks as if it comes in from the sea, as there is a little sandy bay. When you reach it, you realize just how magical and enchanting the whole place looks. The sun glinting on the water, little dots of light flashing and bouncing off the ripples of the water. Are they dots of light, or are they fae? There is a large flat rock beside the shore, so you seat yourself upon it and gaze out across the water, taking in the beautiful scenery and enjoying the peacefulness the place provides. Then you hear a voice. You stand and turn to see someone walking along the shore to meet you. Is it a man or a woman? They stop occasionally to look at a piece of driftwood or a pretty shell. As they reach you, they greet you, open arms for an embrace. Then they indicate for you to sit beside them on the rock. They have an amazing presence, ethereal, beautiful, loving and caring, but also one of strength and power. They talk with you, tell you about themselves, answer your questions, share their wisdom. When you have finished talking, they embrace you once more and tell you that you should seek wisdom and company again. You have only to return to this enchanted place, and that the Fae will guide you to them. You turn and you watch them walk away until they seem to disappear amid a cloud of the same sparkling lights you saw on the water. You take one last look around, drinking in the sights and the sounds, so that you can remember this place. And then you make your way out of the bay, back onto the grass, spread out before you. Take 3 long breaths. The beautiful hills disappear and are replaced by your usual surroundings. A recording of this meditation can be found here. Homework. 1. Research 2 different pantheons as a whole, not just the individual deities from the list in this lesson, and write up your findings. Do they have any similarities or comparisons to each other? How do they resonate with you? We would recommend looking at pantheons that you are not familiar with as part of the learning experience. 2. Take some time to work with the Meet a Deity meditation in this lesson and write up your experience. If you met a deity, sometimes it may take a few attempts at the meditation to get any results. Do some research and write up why you believe that particular deity came to you. If you didn't meet a deity, pick a name from the list that resonates with you and do a little research about them. What did you discover? 3. What does deity mean to you? How do you believe you can connect with it, them? 4. Do the inner temple meditation and report your experience. 5. Get creative and try out the salt dough recipe. This is great for children to get involved with too. Share pictures of your creations. If you don't want to work with salt dough, create something using Fimo, clay, or another medium. Be creative. 6. What other offerings are you drawn to leave? If you would like to make this too, then share your ideas and photos. Note: you don't need to make a commitment or dedication to any particular pantheon or deity. This is more about research into their differences and similarities. Homework for each lesson should be emailed to your mentor, Ness or Heather, at the usual email address, and there is a list of further study.